going to meet the candidates from the riding of Davenport. This is the local campaign. Election time again, as we well know, federally this time. Welcome to the local campaign. For the next hour, your chance to learn a little more about the federal candidates in the riding of Davenport. Now, the riding itself, the riding of Davenport is triangular shape, bordered by Eglinton in the north, Ossington in the east, the CN rail line to the west down to a point of intersection just south of Queen Street. And the candidates in Davenport are, in alphabetical order, Andrew Cash is here, he's the New Democratic candidate. Wayne Scott is here, Green Party candidate. And Mario Silva is here, he is the Liberal candidate. Now, our question is, what is your question for the candidates from Davenport? You can call us right now at 416-446-7090. You can send your email to torontovotes@rogerstv.com. And now, just to remind you of the one rule we have during campaign time, and that one rule is that for these campaign debates, no questions, please, from anybody who works or volunteers for any candidate in this election campaign. Just voters who might want to know a bit more about the candidates in general. I'll give each candidate 1 minute off the top to explain a little about themselves, tell us a little about themselves or a little about the campaign, your choice. And I'll start with Andrew Cash.
Okay, thanks, Dale. Well, over the past 2 years, I've become more and more frustrated by the way Toronto issues have been ignored in Ottawa. And I'm running to be the Member of Parliament for Davenport to do something about it. I mean, we send roughly 20 Liberal MPs to Ottawa seemingly every election, and nothing is getting done for our city. As someone who spent my whole life here, I find this incredibly frustrating. And you know, this is an expensive city. We've got to do some things to make it more affordable. We're going to make seniors' pensions much more. We're going to make seniors' pensions and higher, and the HST. We'd like to get that off of the home heating bill. We'd like to help small businesses, which are the backbone of the local economy, and I'm going to raise the issue of the urban worker. These are folks who have no pensions, no benefits, no fallback. These are really serious issues, and as your MP, I'll work full-time, and we need a full-time MP.
Andrew Cash, thank you very much. Next candidate, Wayne Scott. Go ahead, please.
Thanks,
Wayne Scott.
I'd like to thank you folks for giving us this opportunity again, especially since I'm with the Green Party, and we all know that sometimes some folks don't let us speak. I was born in Toronto 60 years ago. I have been living in the Davenport riding. My wife and I have had a home there for the last 25 years. We have 2 sons, 4 grandchildren, 1 great-granddaughter, and I find that the future of our city, our country, our planet isn't into the future for me. The idea that we have a great-granddaughter, this is a small person that is asking me questions every day. I can't give her the answers that I would like to give her. And I think that if we have somebody that has real experience working at street level in this city, I was a bike courier, foot courier for 25 years in the city. I'd like to go to Ottawa, take that perspective, and bring the reaction back.
All right, thank you very much. And the next candidate, Mario Silva.
This is my 4th election in 7 years, and I've been honored to serve the people of Davenport for a number of years, both at the city council and at the federal level. I think all elections, it's always about what direction one as a country. It's not about creating a larger opposition party. It's about actually forming an alternative government to the Harper government. I believe very strongly that what this community needs and what the city needs and what our country needs is a Liberal vision that includes giving more to seniors, to work in programs in transportation, to work in programs in the environment, improve the quality of life of our Canadians. We have an action plan that we're putting forward very strongly in this campaign. We want to offer that to Canadians. And again, it's all about who do you want to lead this country? What party do you want, in fact, from the next government? And I'm hoping that once again, that the people of Davenport will elect me as a representative. I've worked hard over the years. I've served in many agencies and boards in the community. People know who I am, know my record of service, and I'm proud to serve the people of Davenport.
All right. Thank you all very much for those opening thoughts. Could I get each of you to tell us all, in your own mind, personally, as a candidate, what is if there is, a single largest issue as far as you're concerned? Wayne, let me start with you.
I guess the single largest issue for me is transportation. I think it affects, because of my background, it affects absolutely everything that goes on in our lives. And Toronto, like most urban centers in Canada, is facing a crisis at the transportation level. The city doesn't move. We know this. We just saw a municipal election that went on, as we were just talking about, for 10 months. And the big driving issue of it was transportation.
Well, what should the Green Party do if it formed the government to fix some of this?
We should have a sustainable urban transportation platform, or program, that the Liberals worked on for years. I went to, starting in 1997, I was going every 3 years to their sustainable transportation strategy meetings, invited by the government to talk about active transportation. Nothing's been done, especially in the last 5 years when we've had a federal government that is more concerned about moving the big metal with petroleum-based fuels.
Okay. Mario Silva, I know there are a lot of issues. A lot of them are convoluted and complicated. Is there one that pops up from the top of your head?
I think this election, not just in Davenport, but across Canada, it's really bread and butter issues. People are concerned about jobs. People are concerned about the economy. People are concerned about their pensions. People are concerned about how to pay for certain bills and so forth. So it's a really bread and butter issue. I think that's what the election is all about. And we went through just a crisis not too long ago, and all over the world, and Canada was obviously affected by it. There was good management that was put in place by the Liberal Party, that in fact we had surpluses, which the government has abused at the moment we're in a deficit situation once again. And we had to push the government into a stimulus package. That government, and originally when everything was falling apart around them, they denied what was in fact happening, not just in Canada but around the world. And we had to push that government into action, to a stimulus programs to get things moving, get the economy going, to make sure that we are in fact stabilize what could have been a very critical situation. And the other thing too is that the reason why the banking industry and the banking sector was so stable in Canada vis-a-vis other countries around the world was because of the programs we put in place and the good management that was done during Paul Martin's such years.
All right. Okay. Andrew Cash, I think we heard some of, you said local is really your concern, but amongst all the local issues, is there one that stands out for you?
Well, the big headline is affordability. People in Davenport, many people that I talk to are just barely hanging on. We've got seniors who perhaps bought their houses in the 50s and can just barely hold on to their homes at this point. We've got young families who can't afford childcare. And we've got a whole emerging employment sector of urban workers who are working hard, but they don't have any pensions, they don't have any benefits, and no job security. And so there's that one, but the transit issue is part of the affordability issue. Davenport is one of the ridings in the core with the highest usage of public transit, and our federal government isn't putting a dime into the operating budget of big city public transit. I think this is a huge issue for cities, and it's a big issue here in Toronto. It's one that we need some serious action on, and our friends in the Liberal caucus in Toronto haven't been fighting for this, and this is something that Davenport really needs.
Okay, all right. We've heard of some of the things that are on your minds. I think people might also like to know, of you three, why you're in politics in the first place. Mario Silva, let me ask you.
Well, I got involved in politics because I was involved in the community. I was involved in Law Information Legal Services, working with the community.
Yeah, but don't give us a CV. No. Give us the reason why.
But that is exactly it, Dale. You get involved in your community.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
You get involved in your community. You get involved in things that matter to the community. Start helping people. We helped a lot of new Canadians on immigrant issues and refugee issues. By getting involved, and you start saying you want to make a difference. That's why you get involved in politics. Because you know the community, you know the issues of the community affecting the community, you've been involved in all sorts of agencies in the community, and you believe that the community wanted change at that time. At that time, there was a councillor there for many years.
Yeah, okay, well, I just want to know you. I just want to know about you. So you're saying to make a difference. That's your reason.
But the difference, I would
Yeah.
say, was based on my profound involvement and action in the community, and people knew of my record of services, and that's why I decided to run, because
You decided to keep going, as it were.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Andrew Cash, why do you want to be involved in all of this? Why be involved in politics?
Well, there's many reasons, Dale.
Well, it's just an hour show, so maybe you could shorten it down a bit. Yeah.
So I've been a musician, composer, performer, songwriter, and a freelance journalist for my entire career. Been a self-employed guy for 30 years. Got 3 kids, and our city is really in need of some dynamic advocacy. We've got a lot of big city issues that really need solving, and for me...
Yeah, but why you?
Yeah, okay. Well, especially through my work at Now, I got in touch with a lot of stories, Toronto stories that the mainstream media don't pick up on. And these are the stories about, you know, the lifeblood of the city. And we need to tell those stories in Ottawa. Those stories are not being told. And that's why I'm running.
Okay. Now, Wayne Scott, why are you in politics? You've done this before. We've seen you before in the studio at different times.
I ran the last time because the Green Party asked me to.
Yeah.
2 weeks before the election last time, they lost their candidate. She moved to Ottawa, and they said, "Who's stupid enough to do this?"
And you said, right here.
I put up my hand and said, "Sure."
Just being silly.
Because I have a different perspective. I've never driven a car. I've never been on a plane.
Yeah.
I don't use an air conditioner.
How are you going to get to Ottawa?
I told you last time, I take the train.
Okay.
And
fine.
the Green Party wants to put in the high-speed rail.
You did tell me, now I remember.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
And when the Green Party...
But why? Yeah, so
Why?
they asked you last
Well,
time.
because
That's how you got
I
in.
have-
Why now? You continue.
Because we printed up the Green Party signs and I got to reuse them.
I see.
Okay,
I see.
so the bottom line is I have a very different perspective on how this city works. I
Yeah.
moved freight hundreds of thousands of kilometers in this city without ever fouling the atmosphere. I served the public doing that. I made virtually no money. I got robbed by the government of this country for 18 years, and I took them to court 3 times before we won.
So this is a grudge match. That's why you're politics.
Not at all.
Oh.
I have a different perspective, and I was able to change the way this country operates, the part of the legal system, the way the tax system works, by being persistent, by spending 18 years of my life fighting with Revenue Canada to change the rules. And very few private citizens have ever been able to do this, but I was able to.
So you're resembling what Mario's saying. You're in it to make a difference, right? I guess you're all
Absolutely.
in it to make a difference.
Absolutely.
That's gotta
Mario
be
helped me
honest.
out with the tax thing.
Yeah, well, there you go now.
When he was a city council.
And now look where the 2 of you are now. All right, let's go to the phones. Here's Margaret calling on the line. Margaret, do you have a question for the candidates?
Hello?
Hi, go ahead, please.
Yes, I'd like to